Welcome back to FM Story. We're approaching the midway point of Season 3. We're currently on a run of 9 consecutive victories in the league, and we've just lost our first game in the Champions League. How far can we go this season? Let's find out. Before we do get started, if you do enjoy the video, please comment, like, subscribe. And without further ado, let's get going. We are approaching the middle of December, and we've had a bit of a rough, well, not a rough run, a bit of a change in our form since the end of November. So we ended November with the 1-0 loss to Freiburg. We were on a run of 9 consecutive wins in the league. And as you can see, we've drawn 2 of our last 3 games in the league. And we also drew against Marseille in the Champions League. So the first game in the league, we drew 2-2 against Sevilla. We went behind twice and struggled to get an equaliser despite the fact that they had 10 men for 50 minutes. We won 3-0 against Almeria, a nice comfortable victory. Against Sporting Gijón, we just didn't create any chances, and the same for Marseille, just didn't create enough chances, didn't score anything. What it means in the league is that we've dropped to third, so we're now behind Barcelona, and we're now 5 points behind Real Madrid. So those 2 draws have kind of cost us a bit there. We are 7 points clear of Atletico, who are in 4th, and Villalba is right up near the top goal scorers. Our next game obviously is against Atletico Madrid, and Alvaro Morata is top goal scorer in the league. So we'll have to try and keep him quiet. And obviously, if we can beat Atletico, then it'll kind of go a long way to secure a top 3 kind of position. And then after that draw against Marseille in the Champions League, what we've done is we've dropped from 9th down to 15th. So after 6 games, we've won 2, drawn 3, lost 1. 9 points after 6 games would have probably taken that at the start. The only trouble is the 2 games we've got left in the Champions League are against Man City and Juventus, who are obviously in that top 6 at the moment, top 8 at the moment, but not kind of fully committed in there. Hopefully we've got enough points to kind of be fairly certain of finishing in the top 24 and getting through to the next round. But obviously we're going to have to try and pull something out of the bag against Man City and Juventus to secure that. Going into the game against Atletico Madrid, we've got kind of a big miss in midfield in that Venkador's injured. So we're going to try Julian Guerrero in that deep line playmaker role and see if he can provide something. We may have to rejig things if that's not working. But we do have a few players like Ander Herrera could drop in there. We could always swap Guerrero and Muniain around and things like that. So we do have options, but we'll give Julian Guerrero the opportunity there to start with. Obviously, the key to this game is going to be to keep Morata quiet, as we saw before. He's top scorer in the league. And obviously with Atletico being our nearest rivals, it's important to get a decent result against them. Not an awful lot happening in this first 10 minutes. In fact, no shots in the first 10 minutes, no highlights, no nothing. Muniain with the corner and Villalba's headed wide. Really quite a quiet first half this one. Nothing much in the first 25 minutes. Now they seem to be getting back in the game. We'd had all the shots up until that point, but still very, very quiet. Not an awful lot happening. No highlights to speak of. Really poor first half of that for both teams. The XG story tells the whole tale there. One highlight that we saw, which was us heading a corner over the bar, which was obviously the closest anyone's been to scoring. Send the same team out to start the second half. We've not got the ball up to Villalba enough. He seems to have been fairly isolated in this game. But on the other hand, we seem to have kept Atletico quiet. Although, having said that, they're now on the attack. Correa, cross in. Morata with a free header and he heads it over the bar. We've put Nico Williams through the middle instead of Villalba. We brought Serrano in on the left-hand side. And we brought Herrera on and moved Guerrero forward. Is that a penalty for them? Great. One of the subs that have just come on gave it away as well. Carrasco steps up and Unai Simon saves. I'm not sure that either team really deserves to win this game. Neither team's really gone and created an awful lot. Koki. Llorente with the long ball forward. Inigo Martinez, back to Simon. Back to Javi Lopez. Why do I feel we're going to give the ball away in this back here? Oh, Sunset. Inaki Williams. Odriozola on the overlap. Inaki Williams. Oh! I thought that had looped up perfectly for Vilabra and he hits the post. Right, so Odriozola gets the ball. Back to Simon. Long forward. Nico Williams flicks it onto Inaki Williams. Julian John Guerrero. Nico Serrano. And miraculously, none of them were offside. I mean, Nico Serrano was counting on Inaki Williams not crossing the ball to the back post because he was miles offside at that point. But Julian Guerrero gets to the byline, pulls it across. Serrano with a tap in. And I think we might have just about stolen this one. As long as we can keep it quiet for 5 minutes or so. Blow the whistle, referee. Full time. Big win. Puts an extra 3 points between us and Atletico Madrid in the table. And yeah, it feels awful like we've stolen that one. I don't think we did enough really to deserve that. We're now approaching the end of January and we've had a bit of a rough month of January. We've won a couple of league games and a cup game, but also so in the league we played Malaga first and won 3-1. We were down behind early, pulled a goal back before half time, and then nicked 2 goals in the last 10 minutes to get the victory. We got beat in extra time by Barcelona in the Supercopa España. We did quite well to even take it to extra time. They obviously were a bit stronger in extra time because they had the extra man. We ended up with 2 players being sent off for 2 yellow cards. So come next season, if we make the Supercopa España, we might be a few players light because it was both of our central midfielders that got sent off. We then followed that up with a game against Getafe in the league, which we won 3-0. It was a fairly comfortable win. It could have been more comfortable because Vilabra missed a penalty. But we were able to sort of give Julian John Guerrero more of a start and he repaid us with a goal. The next game was Albacete in the Copa del Rey, and really we didn't deserve to win this game. We went in front early with Inigo Martinez. They pulled a goal back. We really didn't look like we were going to create an awful lot, and then we nicked 2 goals in the second half. But ultimately, it was a pretty poor performance despite the fact we won. But at least we're safely through to the next round of the Cup. We followed that game up with a couple of defeats. So we played Man City in the Champions League away. We were not in the game at all. Cancelo scored a screamer from outside the box, but really they could have had 4 or 5, and we didn't create very many chances, if any at all. One of our worst performances attacking wise. And then we played Real Madrid at home in the league. Now, given we got beaten 9-1 by them at the start of the season, away from home, it's probably a bit of an improvement. That Real Madrid team's just on another level to anything that we've got. We pulled it back after they scored early, but they got a penalty in the second half and we just couldn't push on in the second half and create anything. Now to finish January, we've got a game coming up against Juventus in the Champions League, which is going to be a tough game. So looking at the league table first, we're still sat in 3rd place. We're 12 points clear of Almeria in 4th place. So hopefully that should be us fairly comfortably in 3rd place, and we can maybe start looking to challenging Barcelona and Real Madrid again. But having lost twice to Real Madrid, there's a 6-point gap between us and them, and that's basically the 2 defeats that we've had against them. In terms of the Champions League phase, we're currently sat in 21st on 9 points after 7 games. There are only a couple of teams outside of the top 24 that can catch us, so it's going to take some freak results for us to actually drop out of the top 24. But there is still a chance, so we need to go into this game against Juventus and make sure that we put on a decent performance and come away with at least some sort of result from the game. Going into this game against Juventus, we have almost our full team available. Inaki Williams is away at the African Cup of Nations, so we're forced to play Ika Muniain wide right, and Julian John Guerrero's playing in behind the front man. Nico Williams is struggling fitness-wise, so he's dropped to the bench, and Nico Serrano's coming to the starting lineup. And we've opted for Odriozola at right back instead of Ander Kappa. I mean, that Juventus team's pretty formidable. You've got Nunes, Pogba, Vlahovic as a kind of front three by the looks of things. We're going to have to be on our game today. So we're just going in with our usual formation. Hopefully we can nick something from this game. Hopefully the home advantage pays dividends. Looking at this, they've got Pogba and Nunes wide. Whether they'll stay like that for much of the game is another thing. So it's going to be key to get off to a good start in this game, I think. Javi Lopez with a throw in. Nico Serrano driving forward. Somehow he's kept that ball. And Valabra's nodded it in. That's us 1-0 up. That's definitely what we wanted. A win obviously secures our place in this top 24 and keeps us in the competition. Don't know how the defender didn't clear that. But Valabra puts it right in the corner. So much in the corner that it actually goes in off the post. They've gone long from the keeper. Right, we've given it away. Pogba, DeShiglio, Weston McKennie. Pogba, McKennie's in. I'm surprised he didn't cross that. Right, now we're breaking. No, it's behind Nico Serrano. Nacho to the byline, and again they haven't crossed it. Sunset. Valabra racing clear. Hammers it across. Hill and John Guerrero. Oh! We've nicked the ball. John Guerrero, a strange pass. A strange run and a strange challenge. The whole thing was a bit bizarre there. And he's given it. I mean, the pass was weird. Valabra was running away from goal and it was a weird challenge. Valabra to step up. Sends the keeper the wrong way, and that's just 2-0 up. And hopefully cruising towards the knockout stages of the Champions League. Right in the corner. Brilliant penalty. And that's half time. Couldn't really have asked for anything more than that. Middle of that half was a pretty dull half. They got into a lot of positions to be able to cross the ball and didn't. And then we've kind of caught them with a sucker punch there with that second goal. We got out with the same team that started the game, although we swapped Serrano and Muniain around because Muniain hasn't really got into the game so far. Javi Lopez, Muniain. Right now they're breaking. Darwin Nunez. Why did we stand on the ball and how did they miss? As long as it stays nice and quiet like this, we'll take it. Right, Inigo Martinez, Javi Lopez, Muniain, Venkador, Sunset looking for Muniain. Big ball to the back post. Valabra hits the post, knocks in the rebound, and that's his hat-trick. And that's got to be us safe now in this knockout stage. Not even we can concede 3 in this game. Hit the post and reacted fastest to knock in the rebound. Nico Serrano's got to the byline. I don't know what he was actually doing there. I think he tried to cross it, but hit it straight at the defender. And their keepers clawed it off the line. Come on, referee, just blow your whistle. Brilliant, full time, 3-0, great performance. We never really looked in any danger of conceding. And that's just through to the group stage, through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. That's it for this episode. Join us next time to see if we can put any pressure on Real Madrid and Barcelona and to find out who we get in the knockout stages of the Champions League.